So you got caught using a mouse jiggler. All right, you want to stay tuned for this video because I'm going to tell you exactly the steps on what to do when you are caught red-handed. Let's get into it. All right, so you might be in trouble. You might be about to lose your job. We'll see. Well, I wrote down a couple steps that could potentially help you so I can stay on task. And by the way, I'm over here in Hurricane Berlin, the aftermath, but I still wanted to get a video out to you all to share this information with you. And this is the part 2 video. So, all right, without further ado, let's jump into the 6 steps. 1, you want to stay calm. It's easy to panic in this situation, guys. Do not panic. Stay calm. Collect your thoughts, because you're going to have a crucial conversation, and very well deserved. 2, when you're having that conversation, you have to understand where they're coming from. So you got to understand their concerns, and you have to acknowledge and address those concerns because they're valid. If you put the shoes on the other foot, there are valid concerns. And so that leads to number 3. You have to be honest. You have to be honest with your boss, your employer overall. But you also have to be honest with yourself as well, as it relates to what was your true intentions on, like, why were you using a mouse jiggler to begin with? Because most times it probably has a negative connotation. Were you using it so your status can stay active while you're in meetings, while you in the chat? But at the same time, if you were active in the chat, would you need the mouse jiggler? So that would be on the other side of, that's at least where my mind would be going. And so you got to really really have a real talk about that and like what your true intentions were. So you got to be honest, like what were your intentions? Because maybe they might be legitimate. I haven't heard of many legitimate reasons to use a mouse jiggler, but I'm not saying that they're not out there. 4, you got to show willingness to make an adjustment. So if your boss, your manager, and it appears that they're going to give you a warning, you just gonna have to make the adjustment, not give a lot of pushback. Be just showing, hey, just be humble, show some humility and say, hey, you know what, maybe that wasn't the right approach. Maybe my intentions weren't egregious and I wasn't necessarily trying to steal company time, but I noticed that, just for example, I was in the meeting, but sometimes my screen went asleep, but usually it wouldn't do that, would it? Because you can usually go to your properties to make the adjustment to have your screen stay on longer. I don't know what your reason is, but it better be a good one. But maybe it is. But in any event, whatever the reason is, reason or excuse, or potentially lie, you gotta. If they want you to make an adjustment and you didn't just get fired, make the adjustment. And if that adjustment is to remove that mouse jiggler, throw that thing in the trash, my friend. Throw it in the trash. Number 5, if they do say, okay, those are legitimate, that's a legitimate reason why you were using it, we can see that, we don't agree, and we don't want you using it moving forward, maybe there's some alternatives. And that's still piggybacking off of number 4, which is making the willingness to make an adjustment, and then you actually discuss the alternatives and you put that into practice. Remember, the job is to secure the bag, not fumble it. And number 6, you gotta learn from this experience, because most of the time when I hear mouse juggling or anything like that, usually high performers, they don't operate like that. They usually operate in good faith. They usually just stay above board. If they need to go do something, they'll communicate it early and often with their teams, anyone that would be impacted with them stepping away, and also just keep that open lines of communication with their manager. about them needing to step away. And so you really got to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, this was a close call if you didn't get fired. And, just learn from the experience. Hey, we all make mistakes. We all mess up sometimes if you find yourself in this situation. But it definitely could be all the difference in the world between you getting fired or you just getting a warning and you just moving on. But remember, we don't fumble the bag. We don't operate in emotions. We do not lose the money. We got to keep the money. We got to keep adding value. And so if I was on a coaching call with you, don't fumble the bag. All right. So those are the 6 steps. 1, stay calm. 2, understand their concern. 3, be honest. 4, show the willingness to make the adjustment. And with that adjustment, understand what the alternatives are and agree on something. Whether that may be more check-ins, more one-on-one check-ins, just to ensure that you're on pace of what you're supposed to be doing and everything, and there's clarity there. 6, learn from the experience. All right, guys. If this video was helpful, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And to the next one. Peace.